If you ever found yourself thinking, I need more motivation to run, but yet it's so hard to find that motivation to do so, here's the hard truth. Motivation you're trying to manifest, it is temporary. What makes you keep coming back is your identity. I didn't run for more than 100 weeks straight because I felt motivated every single week. I kept running because I started changing how I saw myself. So in this video, I'm going to share the 3 principles on building identity that have helped me continue making running as a habit. And one important mistake you could have easily make that might be even more important to be aware of than those principles. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to make running feel more a part of who you are instead of something you have to keep forcing yourself to do. And you'll also understand how to build the identity without turning running to an unhealthy obsession. In one of my previous videos, I talked about why most people can't run for more than 5 minutes. And the point was, it's not always fitness. A lot of times, it is identity. You just don't see yourself as a runner yet, so every discomfort feels like proof that this isn't you. This video is the next layer of it. How do you actually build that identity? And just to be clear, I'm not saying this as a pro runner who started running early. I'm just saying as someone who started running 2 years ago when I was 33 with no real running background. And as someone who was once told by a doctor to be careful with my lungs. I've now run consistently for over 100 straight weeks now. I didn't rely on motivation to run. On top of what worked for me, over the last couple years, I spent a lot of time studying, implementing habit building, identity change, behavior psychology. And after testing those ideas through my own running, I found there are 3 key principles that kept showing up and have helped me tremendously. So if you're exploring ways to make running as a habit without keep having to motivate yourself, I believe these will help you a lot. So now let's get into the 3 principles. The first principle is to build the environment first. Identity is not built in your head. It is shaped by where you are, what you repeat, what you wear, and how you show up. A lot of people hear advice like, join a running club, follow runners online, surround yourself with runners. And no doubt that can help for certain people. But if you don't see yourself as one of them yet, it can actually make you feel even more distant. You look at themselves and think, I don't feel like one of them, and I feel so behind. So the goal is not to copy someone else's runner identity. The goal is to create your own. One that feels believable, one that fits your life, one that feels like it belongs to you. And if you're joining a running club and hoping that it's the only environment that you need to build that runner identity, I'm sorry to tell you that it will require more than that. And here's my take. An environment that helps you build an identity has to start up with one that suits you. If you're an introvert like me, joining a running club when you first started running, it can be more intimidating than the running itself. For me, one thing that helped me a lot was actually showing up the exact same way. Same type of clothes, same basic gears, similar routes, similar time of the day. Even after 100 weeks of running, I still running mostly the exact same kind of gear and repeat many of the same routes. And over time, when I put those clothes on, my brain will understood that, okay, this is running mode. Environment doesn't only limit to where you are. It can also build through the gears you wear. So if you're starting, don't overcomplicate this. What's more practical is creating a simple set of gears you can run with, pick a route that you can repeat, and pick a time of day that works. And create a small pre-run routine, something that tells your brain, when I wear this, I run, or when I warm up, I run. And if you're an introvert like me, you don't need to force yourself into a running group right away. You can build your own environment first. Another reason why running group could make it really hard building running habits is that they're designed for a group of people. And because of that, the time, the location they choose might not even fit yours. If you're purely just following running club schedule to run, you can probably see how hard it is to build a habit around a busy schedule that you probably already have. The second principle is to create a pride loop. That means when you finish a run, you record it, and then you look back, and your brain gets the evidence that you're becoming someone consistent. That's what a pride loop is. A lot of beginners quit because they measure the wrong things too early. They measure their pace, their heart rate zones, or how far they are from their goals. So everyone feels like they need to prove themselves they got better. And most of the time, they felt the opposite. When the stats don't show they're improving, they feel like they're failing. My take is that the most important thing to track is the evidence rather than the progress. The evidence that you show up, evidence that you follow through, evidence that you are becoming someone who keep promise to themselves. And for me, Strava helped a lot. I also make sure all my runs and physical activities are tracked there, not because I want to show off, but because every activity I did become visible to me. I could look back and see all the runs that I did that week. And the more evidence I had, the more I started believing, maybe this is actually me now. Now, this principle only requires you to track. So how you track is really up to you. You don't need Strava. You can keep it private. You can use a notebook, a calendar, a simple app, just whatever that you can see it for yourself. But after each run, log it. And once a week, you can look back, not to judge yourself on what time you ran or what pace you're running at. It is the time when you remind yourself, look, I've done all these. And by the time you finish a month, you look back and see how much you ran, how slow you ran will look less significant of a failure to you. So remember, run, log, review, and repeat. The third principle is this: behavior comes before identity. You don't claim the identity first. You earn the belief in the identity through repeated actions. There's a popular idea in habit psychology that says every action you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to become. I've heard the idea so much and never got to experience what it feels like until I started running. It's just a very simple technique that you need to add into every run. Before you start to run, remind yourself, this wasn't just a workout. It was a vote. A vote for I'm someone who takes care of my body. I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who doesn't quit the moment it gets uncomfortable. Or replace that with whatever reason you have for running. And here's the other part of this principle that people don't hear enough. Missing a run doesn't make you fail immediately. It just means you didn't cast a vote that day. This is not about following a routine perfectly. It's about stacking enough votes until the identity becomes believable. And your identity will also evolve over time. When I first started running, I didn't fully know what running would mean to me. At first, it was mostly about health. I wanted to take better care of my body. But over time, it became purpose. It became clarity. It became this channel. And it became a way for me to rebuild trust with myself. So before your next run, don't just ask, how far am I running? Ask this instead. Who am I becoming by doing this? Someone healthier, someone more disciplined, someone who doesn't ignore the body anymore, or someone who keeps promise to themselves. When you attach the run to that, it stops becoming another task. It just becomes a part of a bigger plan. And once that a new identity starts becoming real, the behavior will start to get easier. Not easy, but easier. Because running is no longer something you constantly have to force yourself to do. It just becomes something that aligns with who you believe you are. And before I get into my final important point, if you're new here, my name is Felix. I started running after being someone who always felt weak in cardio and never saw running as part of my life. What I'm trying to do on this channel is help ordinary people use running to rebuild their health, their confidence through a healthy running habit, and eventually rebuild the way they see themselves. If that resonates with you, hit that subscribe button to this channel. That's what I'm documenting here every single week. Okay, let's talk about the most important note of this video. It's so important that without it, the 3 principles I've already spoken about can become a weapon against you. Don't confuse identity with obsession. There is a big difference between I choose to run because it matters to me versus I have to run because I am a runner. After studying this more and listening to other runners talk about identity, I realized identity can become extremely dangerous when it starts to make decisions for you. It is when you stop asking, what does my body needs today? Or what actually matters today? And you just say, I have to run because this is who I am. Or I must run because that's part of my training plan. A healthy runner identity should never remove your freedom. Instead, it should give you a direction and a structure. But you still choose what pace you run at and decide whether you should run at that current moment. If you miss a run because your body genuinely needs rest, you don't lose your runner identity. If you choose to change your plan because life happens, that doesn't make you a fake or wannabe runner. The distinction is, if you choose not to run today and you take ownership of that decision, that is part of a healthy runner identity. A healthy runner identity is not, I must do this at all cost. Instead, it should be, I choose this because it matters to me. And I'm responsible for how I choose today. I learn to listen to my body signal and make decisions from there. Making slow progress is way better than making no progress because you force yourself into training plan and then get injured. So take your time. Stop if you need to. So let's summarize what I've covered so far. If you want to build a healthy runner identity, here are 3 principles you should follow. Build an environment that reminds you to run, create a pride loop so you can see the evidence, and most importantly, cast that vote, 1 run at a time. But remember, you don't have to prove yourself or anyone that you're a runner by ignoring your body or forcing every single run. You build the identity by building the momentum slowly again and again, because sometimes slowness really matters. And eventually your new identity will catch up. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. This is Felix, just figuring things out 1 run at a time. I'll see you on the next one.